Oh, my goodness.
Hello.
Hey,
Did you get Ann to come back?
Okay.
And hear?
So when we begin at 11, we're going to begin with the hearing. And so I'm going to start, which is
We're
this.
gonna call to order the meeting of the canvas, but just say we need to have a hearing first.
All right, because this says call to order and I'm supposed to say I'd like to call this hearing to order.
Yeah,
do we go through our usual rituals of pledge allegiance and all that, or do we do
I
that?
don't think so. I didn't adopt that as. Angela,
Yes, ma'am.
Annie?
Yeah.
You ought to get that folder,
Oh,
give it
yeah.
to Angela.
Thank you.
Angela, do you have a Bible?
There's one up on the shelf there, I think.
Right there. You're gonna have to administer the oaths. You hang on to both of us. I'm giving up my script, y'all, so Madam Chairman, you'll have to just take it. Okay?
And I do have this other one that I had, if you'd like. it.
Yeah, I've already that one.
Is this one that you made up yourself, or does the state?
It's
Okay,
what
you
we have done before. The state, as I said before, has never given us anything.
So are we considering this hearing as kind of as part of the canvas, or is the canvas separate? Will we reconvene as a canvas, on the canvas after this, or?
This is it.
We have to convene the canvas at 11 o'clock and recess to conduct the hearing. We'll finish the hearing and then we'll finish the canvas.
Got it.
So I'm going to call the meeting to begin canvas at 11 and then recess
In
for our
order to
hearing.
conduct the hearing. Yes, ma'am. I don't know what it is, but she has to read. And then you just tell what he said.
So we have you see what people have seen a long time. That's good.
Openers.
Yeah. Fifty-fifth, that's good.
Is Amber here? No, just Myra.
So the purpose of taking judicial notice is so we don't have to actually have the exhibits part of a docket. Was a court proceeding and all would be segregated. So that's why we're taking judicial notice. I guess. That's interesting. Makes sense.
Did I leave her name in there?
What?
Did I leave your name in there?
Yeah, is it not supposed to be?
Yes, not supposed to.
It's supposed to be her. I kept sitting there thinking, why am I having this?
Where is that, Bill?
That's the second page.
Page 2. That's Ms. Glendina.
Well, actually, you're conducting a hearing, aren't you? You should
It
probably
would be-
do it.
You,
It is supposed to be a, I don't see it.
page 2.
Or actually, page 3. Sorry. The second piece of paper.
You were just jealous. You didn't like my name.
This right has to, wrong has to be right.
Please strike through that to Ms. Mangler.
Done. Gladly.
Ouch.
Gladly. It's already done. Hello.
If you'll come around so we don't, you don't hear that.
What are those bags on the chair?
Yes.
All right, everyone, it's 11 a.m. So this canvas meeting of the Moore County Board of Elections will come to order. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. My name is Elizabeth Mangum, Chair of the Moore County Board of Elections. And we are going to begin this morning by recessing to have a hearing on an absentee ballot challenge. So Mrs. Clendenin, would you like for me to begin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I would like to call this hearing to order. Today we will be conducting a hearing regarding a challenge on an absentee ballot. This hearing is judicial in nature and will be conducted in accordance with special due process safeguards. This challenge is brought for the consideration of an absentee ballot by mail. In the hearing, we will first hear from the staff and the Board of Elections. We will hear from the challenger, then from the voter of the challenged ballot and their witnesses, if any. Parties may cross-examine witnesses after the witness testifies when questions are called for by the chairman of the Board of Elections. Additionally, members of the Board of Elections may ask questions of the witnesses. The testimony that witnesses give today shall be taken under oath. If the challenger, the registrant of the challenge ballot, or other witness wants the board to see written evidence such as reports or other exhibits A witness who is familiar with the evidence should explain the document and ask that it be introduced during or at the end of his or her testimony. Let the record show all board members and the director of elections are present. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. And we will be assisted today by Angela Atkinson, Election Systems Specialist and One Stop Voting Coordinator. The original challenge and the evidence are currently in her possession. And we will now open the hearing. So I now open the hearing on the challenge of absentee ballot of Isaiah Robert Lee Vamper. Is Mr. Vamper present? I do not believe he's present. So at this time, I will ask that Glenda Clendenin, the Director of the Moore County Board of Elections, be placed under oath and provide the board with information concerning the absentee ballot of Isaiah Vamper. I'm dying. Excuse me.
Do you swear that the testimony and evidence you shall give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
I do.
Mrs. Clendenin, would you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Glenda Clendenin, 1035 Inverness Road, Southern Pines, North Carolina.
And what is your occupation?
I am the Director of the Moore County Board of Elections,
How long have you been employed by the Board of Elections?
34 years.
What are your responsibilities and duties as the Director of Board of Elections as it relates to absentee voting?
By statute, I am to be responsible for all absentee voting and to work with staff to ensure that the absentee laws of the state of North Carolina are carried out.
What information do you have at this time to present concerning the current registration and voting record of the voter whose absentee ballot was challenged?
I would like to present to y'all the original registration record and the container return envelope, the absentee ballot request for a mail ballot, and the provisional application of the registrant whose absentee by mail is being challenged today. And Mr. Kennedy, I'm also including the original challenge. That's all. That's all. Well, no, these things.
That's the Do we know the date of the registration? Just curious. Oh,
8/11.
October 8th.
Was your question on the eighth?
Is that right?
So we are going to take judicial notice of the voter registration record of the Board of Elections, which is marked 2020 DOE 001 Exhibit A. The absentee ballot request form, which is marked 2020 BOE 001 Exhibit B. The absentee container return envelope, which is marked 2020 BOE 001 Exhibit C. And the provisional voting application completed the 29th day of October 2020, marked 2020 BOE 001 Exhibit D. All documents are in front of us at this time. Mrs. Clendenin, would you please, who's been previously sworn in, would you please explain the timeline of events here?
Yes, ma'am. As indicated on the exhibits that have been presented, we received an absentee request for ballot by mail on September the 28th. That request was satisfied by mailing the ballot on September 30th. And we had a ballot return on October the 8th. And Mr. Bamford presented to vote at one stop early voting on the 29th of October.
And what happened when he appeared to vote in person?
I'm gonna let you ask our one-stop coordinator what happened when he presented to vote, because of course was not present at that time. So we need to put Lori under oath.
Okay, and I may be jumping ahead here. So before we put Lori under oath, having heard the timeline of events, are there questions of the director from members of the board? And the one-stop manager is present, so I will ask that Lori Thomas, the one-stop site manager for the Moore County Agricultural Center, be placed under oath and provide the board with information concerning the issuance of the provisional ballot to Isaiah Bamford.
Do you swear that the testimony and evidence you shall give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
Would you please state your name and address for the record?
My name is Lori Thomas, and I reside at 25 Juniper Creek Boulevard, Pinehurst, North Carolina.
Okay, thank you. And how were you employed by the Board of Elections on October the 15th?
I was assigned as a one-stop site manager at the agricultural center.
Thank you. Were you working as the one-stop manager on October the 29th?
Yes, ma'am.
And what were your additional responsibilities and duties as the site manager of a one-stop voting site?
I handled, change of addresses. I did, handle the provisional ballots. I also, took care of the curbside voting and just ensured that the line was moving smoothly. If I was not working with one of the previous, responsibilities, just tried to check people in and give them their ballots so that everything was moving.
Thank you. Can you share with the board the conversation you had with Isaiah Vamper at the time you presented to vote?
Mr. Vamper, initially checked in at the registration table. He did have a change of address, so he was sent to the help desk. I asked him to state his name. I remember his name very clearly. It was a long name, so I said, okay, I didn't know what was his first name, middle name, whatever. So I asked him to state his date of birth, and which he did, and he provided me his old address, and said that he wanted to update that address so that he could then vote. I noticed on the screen that Mr. Vamper had previously, it appeared as if he had previously voted, and it was by absentee ballot. I presented that information to him. He was somewhat perplexed and said right away, he said he has not voted. And he said he did not, and I kind of explained to him what the process for the absentee ballot process was, which of course was completing the request form, the ballot being mailed to him, voting on the ballot, and then returning it either in person or through mail in the secured envelope, which he said he did not do. And at this point, he said he was going to call his mom. And when he was on the phone with his mom, that's when I called here at the Board of Elections. I initially spoke with Carrie. Carrie then transferred it to Angela. We discussed it, that we would offer him a provisional ballot. I explained that to him and explained that there were conditions associated with voting provisionally. He said he understood, and also informed him that because we had evidence that he had already made a vote, that it would be reviewed by the Board of Elections, and it may or may not count. And he said he wanted to vote. At that time, he also said his mom did not know what. She had not voted anything on his behalf.
Okay, thank you. Do any members of the board have any questions for Mrs. Thomas?
I may have one. Did Mr. Vamper seem totally clueless as to the procedure for applying for an absentee ballot?
He did. He seemed, what I felt was genuinely perplexed. And I mean, I know you don't jump to conclusions, and I did not let this on, but I felt that there was a good chance that someone had voted in his place, because he just sat there, he said, I just want to vote.
And did,
Reviewing the documents, it doesn't appear to me that the signature matches on the request form.
I didn't, when the exhibits were passed around, I didn't look carefully at the addresses. How did the address, is the address that he gave for voting provisionally the same one that was on his absentee ballot request?
No, sir.
Did he happen to tell you when he had moved?
He said it had been more than 30 days.
And so the dates you gave us were, this was returned on September 30. Or actually, he mailed it on September 28th.
The request was received on the 20th.
He got the request on the 28th,
Yeah.
and he's voting on the October 29. 30 days.
And so it appears that his witness on this absentee ballot returned envelope lives at his prior address, the address at which he changed, correct? So that means that this information was sent to his old address, correct?
That's correct.
And then he came and he updated his information.
And is the witness purportedly his mother?
That is correct.
And she, I take it, denies, we don't know what she says. You didn't talk to her. Have you talked to her?
We have not talked to his mother.
Okay.
I did visit Mr. Vamper about a week ago at his residence, the new residence address. And he was not there when I first arrived at the residence, but he came before I left. And I told him that he needed to watch the mail because he would be getting a notice of the hearing. And he said that he had to work on Fridays and he did not think he could get off to come. And that he had actually spoken with the state board investigator. And the state board investigator had advised to me on the day that I reported, and I reported this immediately to the state board. And she said, well, the mother says she didn't know anything about it. But I've not spoken to the mother.
Okay.
But he said that he had been assured by the state board that we would count the ballot. He voted in person. And I said, well, Mr. Vamper, I cannot speak for the board. That's their decision. But I would assume that that would be what happens. And so he said, well, I want my vote to count. And I said, you don't need to worry about that. The board will do the proper thing. That's all I can say.
Thank you.
And it is perfectly okay for y'all to compare these signatures. And I think that's important because they don't appear to be what his signature is. And if you'll notice that on the application that we received, it uses a middle name that we don't have at all on record of Matthew. And so we, in our notes, in our database, in order to get his ID to verify, we had to add the Robert Lee, I think is what the note said. And so that's the name that he did use, the Matthew Robert Lee, but that would not verify if we put that in with his social. So on the Social Security record, his name is Isaiah Robert Lee Vamper. So, but the request added the Matthew, which we didn't know even existed. Now, he did mention it with Lori when he did it in person. But I know if Carrie put that in right now, it would not verify it being a legitimate ID. But I just say that the state is investigating this. And I have advised the district attorney's office that we had several cases that we would be giving them information about.
So the state is looking into this for criminal activity or
That's
criminal
correct.
matters. It's the responsibility of this board to determine which vote to count.
That is correct. And that's all we consider, Madam Chair, the switch ballot.
So do any members have any more questions concerning these documents? Okay, well, having heard the testimony of Mrs. Clendenin and Mrs. Thomas, I now ask, again, is Isaiah Vamper present? And he is not, so the board will now entertain a motion either to sustain or to overrule the challenge on and by mail absentee ballot civilian 11,070 previously approved on October the 13th, 2020 by this board.
I would move that we challenge the,
Sustain
Yep.
the challenge.
we sustain the challenge to the absentee ballot that was,
him. Is there a second?
Second.
So a motion has been made and seconded to sustain the challenge to civilian ballot 11,070, which has been previously approved. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? So the motion to sustain the challenge for the absentee ballot by mail carries. When any challenge is sustained for any cause listed under General Statute 163-89, the board shall disapprove the absentee ballot and deduct the votes cast from the returns and adjust the appropriate abstracts of those returns of this election. This correction shall be made in accordance with the State Board of Elections prescribed procedures. Only those persons against whom a challenge is sustained or persons whom have made a challenge which is overruled shall have standing to file such an appeal. Staff will take appropriate steps based on the testimony and evidence presented at this hearing to reflect the determination and conclusion of these challenges. This hearing is closed.
thank you.
And Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
we need to direct staff to bring out the bag from the 13th and locate that ballot so that Angela may make that correction. And then we need to approve this ballot and put it in the tabulator. And do you want to get that bag?
Yep.
Please, thank you.
Does that require a further motion or have we already done?
Pardon me.
Do we need a further motion or are we good?
I think you're good with what you
We're
thought,
gonna do that.
because you've already approved it.
Yeah, she's gonna get it. We'll approve it. Oh, Christ.
I'd be curious to continue.
You want to verify your number? 134 when you left.
It's now 289.
Mail.
No, I trust Greg.
I should not have said
I
that.
trust
That was a joke.
So I'm good to read this for you. There's 134.
She's got that. It's
139.
For Cameron,
11070.
11070.
Am I okay to close?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
They already found the ballot? What?
This is how that I will have to manually edit.
We're all curious.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yes. Well, it's a 180-degree term from the first election.
Well, I myself have a son in that same situation. And when I heard this, I thought, this is so funny. I mean, I'm just saying, we're on opposite sides.
Oh,
Could have been me. Although I wouldn't have done that, but I'm just saying. It's hard being.
okay,
mother
Madam
sometimes.
Chair, have you reconvened the canvass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm sorry, I have not. So I will reconvene our canvas meeting and proceed with canvas.
There are a couple of things that have to happen.
I got a manual.
A couple of things have to happen, y'all. Angela must take the card from provisionals and put it into the Unity system to get the numbers in for the provisionals. I would then like for you to print out that total. And then I'd like for you to deduct the manuals and then print out again. Okay, so let's get the provisional in and get that printed out. So let's see what those are. And then we'll let you manually deduct. And if a couple of board members of opposite parties wanna go watch her work, we'll only charge her for to watch the monkey today.
Does it have to be our normal team member or can I choose somebody else?
You get to
Oh, wait,
birthday.
Are you normal?
There's no one normal here.
There's not a normal person here. And it'll be a few minutes, Susan, to get everything printed out.
So don't go back there now?
Wait till she goes.
I'm sorry.
I thought you went that way a few minutes ago. Are you going back for
Well, in just a minute, which that,
Yeah, I understand what's going on there.
he's going to the restroom.
Oh. I thought we needed to.
Let the record show.
Group of people there. We don't need bipartisanship for that. Oh, I get overlooked here, that's why I asked.
So what are we doing now?
If she took the card out right now, we'd stop printing, so we need to let that thing print.
And she get reimbursed from the witness get reimbursed from the.
Would you like this one? I'm gonna bring you one. Are you need another one? I got one more. And you need a third copy. Which I
I
don't
put them all back in the bag here on the table. Take a look. Okay.
birthday girl has one.
A special lucky paper clip.
You get to keep.
I have my birthday towel on.
Kim,
That's the issue.
Thank you.
Yes.
You follow you?
okay, now the bipartisan team's going to the little room. The ice box, right?
Susan better take a cake.
Space is three.
That's got him at the end. Yes, she is. Pretty sure you know, with his being included. Ann? Maybe I'll go down there and get a big microscope.
Okay.
Let's put the cake over there, right there. Okay. Well, this is like you all did special.
Going to the beach.
Oh,
Going to the beach. So my farm sitter's out, so I'm trying to find a farm sitter, if anybody wants to
All right.
come feed my horse.
Sam Kinston has directed me to show everybody what we're doing here.
Okay,
So far, the new provisional ballot has been added in, which is seen on this number, provisional 135. And so far, the other one has not, the disallowed one has not been challenged, has not been deducted. So it shows 11,463. Now, that's what it says now. Now, if everybody understands that, should go back and make the proper adjustments for the one that was deducted.
so that says 11,463,
11,463 and provisional at 135.
and now still deduct, challenge, we need more.
Right,
Do we need to come again?
What? More steps.
you see. Yeah, I think so. Kim, get your
I need a
thing.
calculator.
Since I've got to sign stuff. Annie? We need the brown envelopes.
I have those.
So what happens after today for you?
A lot of cleanup. work. There are no more deadlines unless we'll have that recount, I'm sure, on that Supreme Court justice. So we'll have to set that date once it's over. So we'll know that in the next day or two. But I'm hoping to take most of Thanksgiving weekend off. Week.
But outside of that, we wait for that to happen, but there's nothing we have to do, just in the result of
That's good.
and how do you do that? You know, we all go electronically, or we have to send stuff in the mail?
We send it electronically, and there is one hard copy you have to print out and send up there. So.
And then we go into hibernation for a moment.
Do you think we should have a meeting after this, just to kind of recap on some things? Before we, go away for a while?
We'll probably have, of course, that recount to Elizabeth.
When will that be?
Whatever the state tells us. And I'll get you all the details of how they want the recount done. Of course, they'll tell us all that too, so I won't have to do too much research. Just be patient for a few days. And did you go check the emails to see if we've got any emails from anybody that we need to know about? Thank you.
So if a precinct had provisionals, that this is the first time I've seen this document inside the envelope.
I don't know what it is, but
I don't see any emails from any.
anything from Mr. Wallace.
No.
That right, it needs to stay there.
So did the other ones not have any write-ins? Is that why they
They
not?
put it in the writing bag, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And get the big book where we put in all the records from the election and let Elizabeth see what we retained.
And in the general statute, it talks about how we're supposed to write in the poll book. Do we need to do that? Is it all electronic now?
It's all electronic.
So this one's from the primary, just because I haven't done this yet. So each sleeve is for a different precinct and their ballot reconciliation, all their forms. The copies of the tapes, and then we make copies of the tapes, so because these will eventually fade, the tapes, so we make a copy. So
Well, I
all
mean,
their
We need to,
sheets.
right?
Yeah,
And
get one of the
so
ballot
each
pieces.
sleeve is a different
I
precinct,
understand.
so all of that.
Yes.
Copied and then
It's a code sheet that Elizabeth has to sign. Yeah, he's in there.
Our bipartisan team is monitored.
yeah, keep it straight.
This is work. What we will present to you now is, you will see the absentee ballot count is declined to 11,462. And with this being the final tally, you might note that the total ballots cast in Moore County at 58,608 out of a population of 74,032 of registered voters.
Doesn't matter. 80%. All right. Elizabeth, that is the ballot that we subtracted. You took out? Yes.
Yes, and it's evidence, so we need to make sure.
I don't know who gets it or where it goes. Glenda? Yeah, that is the ballot. Oh, we're signing.
Here's the challenge of that.
Would anyone like to see any tapes?
Go run some reports so we can begin checking.
And these,
Madam Chair, what needs to happen now is as soon as Angela prints out the report, y'all need to check either all of those or you can spot check. And I think in the past, each board member's picked out one precinct and y'all count. You call out all the returns and check it against the abstract report. Okay, so she's gonna print those out for
So
you.
that'll be our audit.
That's
Make sure
right.
that the tapes are accurate.
Now, they have already been checked, but checking again never hurts.
And there are a number of audits that are happening today.
Yes,
Can you describe those for the public? In the canvas?
every county is required to do this now. Some of the large counties have had multiple meetings to get to where they are today. And so the dates that was on the state website was a different dates that everybody was doing these, what we call pre-canvas meetings to get to where we are today. And so what we will be doing is we're looking at election night return numbers that came in from each precinct. And of course, they're entered only by reading in a card. Now, we've had to manually adjust the provisionals, but the state does not want us going in and manually doing anything unless there is an approved correction. And so there should not be any difference whatsoever in what came in election night and what we're seeing on the returns today. And so the board is doing that last audit to make sure that those numbers are still correct. And so Angela's printing out that canvas report so that there could be the comparison in just a moment. And that is done statewide. And everything will go to the state. And then the state will look at the numbers. And if there is a recount to be had, they'll be telling us when we'll have that recount. And we know there is one race that's very close statewide. There may be two of them that are statewide.
And I believe if they're within 1 percentage point, it's a mandatory recount. So there are
Yes.
mandatory recounts as well as discretionary if the
Yes.
candidate would choose
That is correct.
to be within a certain.
So we've got a little bit more, but Annie just brought out the books that we prepare for our records that put all of the forms from each one of the precincts where they balance their ballots on election night. Now, the suitcases are right in there in that room and we have not touched them. So depending on when we have to do the recount, we'll start counting those ballots to see how many will return from the precinct to make sure that everything is audited correctly. So that paper also is included in the big picture of the records. And we actually Xerox all the tapes because that paper over age will fade out those numbers. You know how you get your receipt at McDonald's and if you leave in your car, the heat takes away that. So we actually make a Xerox copy so that it becomes more of a permanent record that we keep. So it's quite an undertaking to get that book put together for the permanent record.
And what are we gonna compare?
You're gonna compare the election night returns, those tapes, well, just the returns, or results rather, against what's in the computer that we're canvassing our number and then what you're gonna sign off as the official record of the number.
Sure.
So I have these documents from the hearing. Would you like for me to bring them to you? The evidence?
Yes, I need to keep that. And the originals I expect will be going to the state once they start their proceedings.
Yes, sir. These are the tapes from each of the things on election day. Would you like to see some? And then so we'll pull them out. Everybody will choose one. Yes, well, yeah, I think these are all from election day, correct? So they're the tapes. And what amazes me is that there's not very many, you know, like even Carthage, I think had 400 people on election day. And then we'll pick one out, you know, everybody will pick one, we'll check. And we'll get our final numbers.
Do we do that on a bipartisan basis or just?
Everybody gets.
We're all doing it together. It's bipartisan. You'll pick
I'm
one,
familiar with these.
Mhm.
you'll pick one precinct and you'll call it and your other members will be looking at the report that's going to the state and y'all will be verifying that the same numbers are there.
This has been sitting here for, I don't know what this
That's
is.
for Angela, it's provisional.
I've signed it, have you?
Oh, that's, I
Has that been signed by everybody, Susan?
think so.
We've been known to call you and tell you to come back and sign something, haven't we, Susan?
Oh, yeah.
And that was the canvas report before she took out Mr. Bamber's by mail, right?
Yes.
So she's gonna now be printing out the one that's the final one.
Took out the mail-in vote notice. Goodness, I don't know what that is. Pages and pages. of it. This is what happens.
Did the witness to the challenge this morning, is she employed somewhere?
You want,
The lady that was the witness, is she employed somewhere? So she didn't have to take off work to come here.
she,
What is that? Who knows? This is revealed.
is an educator. She was married to a Methodist pastor and they divorced. She remarried and that marriage did not last. And she had breast cancer. And so as she was going through her treatments, well, she and her second husband were in a severe,
We're on camera.
We're on camera.
she and her second husband were in a severe motorcycle accident. And so her mother helped her come back through that. And then she was diagnosed with breast cancer and had to have surgery. And so when the marriage did not work out, she came back to live with her mother. And her father was a Methodist minister also. So once COVID came in and her cancer, she really could not afford to go back into the school system. But she was over curriculum in Orange County for a long time. And she actually helped with our online training. She helped do that. So she has been a godsend to come in and help. And she worked days in here answering the phone, then to step up to be a site manager whenever we had additional sites. So she's a very, very, very talented young woman who right now still doesn't have a permanent job. And when her father retired, they moved to Pinehurst and bought a house number 6. And she just walked in one day, Susan. I would have never thought about calling her because I really had not kept up with her that much. Once she was not my pastor's wife, they had been appointed to a church in Orange County. And I kept up with her a little bit, but not much. And I would see her when she'd come home and come to church with her parents, but then her dad died. And so I really had kind of lost track of it. And one day I looked up and she was standing at the counter saying, Glenda, I'm looking for a job. Have you got anything? And I said, well, I will have. I don't have anything right now. And so I said, you as an educator could probably help us do some of this stuff. And so it really has been great to have her.
Heard that. Bill?
Hmm?
Heard that.
Oh, she, just a bit, I'm breathing.
He sighs and points at me. It's she.
Miss Ann?
Yes.
Okay, just don't put, I don't write on boxes, just make.
Yeah, we're gonna print you a
sticker.
sticker.
Just take it off.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put the sticker, actually, just piece of paper, and
Yes.
take it on there so that we can take it off.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay, thank you. No, we're good.
Okay,
How close is Angela to getting us a report? Do you know?
I will ask her.
Okay, thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
this way.
She's coming
Oh,
down
there
the
she
hall.
is. So these here, you have to sign on there, guys. That's from the supplemental from yesterday. And then the abstract of the supplemental from yesterday, everybody signs. I've got 3 copies if y'all sign all of those. That's 2 right there. Okay, and all the copies of the, or here we go.
We need the abstract where they can call out the number. Is that the abstract right there? Okay, it's- How many copies do you have?
Just one right here, but I can make copies for everybody.
Yes, please.
I think there's a couple blank pages.
Okay. Well, I'll sign these other documents.
Do you make copies from that one, or you just want to see it direct?
I was gonna print it.
Okay, that's fine.
A question about this report's interesting. It says 33 precincts. I thought we only had 26 plus maybe the 4 one stops.
Transfers are considered a precinct even though it's not. And
What's a transfer?
you got 26 precincts, but you got those supplemental type things.
Mailing is considered a precinct.
Does that need to go with other, did you do that one down there with that other stuff? Did you give that to Richard?
Just
It just goes in the front. Just keep it together. another section.
Page one, I just need to touch.
It's just page one, I just saw we were keeping it together. That's just the finals,
We're not checking anything.
not yet. Elizabeth is signing stuff. I think I'm finished. Somebody's signing something. Hopefully.
I can add your, if they want to randomly select or do whatever you want to do.
Should we, one year of paper we were supposed to sign? It's come. Okay. I think we should have.
I'm gonna have that, so later in.
So I'm gonna just have each board member select one. Is that good?
Or they can select their own precinct.
Yeah, you don't have to be there if you have a specific one. Like, you want a specific one? Actually, I think they have quite a large.
Yeah, they did.
You want a specific?
Just pick one.
Birthday girl. We should let Susan choose first. Okay. Okay, so who wants, Richard, can we start with you? Can we
Just
start
sign
with
once.
yours, Pat?
Yes. No, we just three copies.
Which is your precinct?
So,
And Rick, you just need to take out the tape,
What's that?
the tape.
that's just one copy.
Well, they had everything.
And
Okay.
which precinct is it?
Well, what do I see that?
Is it Taylortown, T?
Yeah, Taylor Town.
Taylortown?
All right, so we're gonna look at Taylortown's tickets. They had, it looks like 566 people. Actually, there's 566 registered voters and 156 people cast ballots. So it's small.
Say you go to
There's three
the
copies. I don't know where the other two are.
start with Biden. I mean, start with Trump.
Okay,
Everybody go to Taylor Town.
got it?
Can we look at Donald Trump's
Now just call out the
president's
numbers.
race?
Yes,
He's
sir.
gonna tell us the numbers for the
Okay.
presidential candidates.
Donald Trump, 35. Biden, 119. Looks like,
Okay.
Howie Hawkins,
Yes,
1. Joe Jorgensen, 0.
We got one.
We got
he
one.
did one.
Okay, well, yeah, wait a minute, he's got one, that's right. And the other one was Hawkins, okay?
No writing here.
No write-ins.
And what's your over and under vote? 0-0?
0-0.
Okay, that checks out.
US Senate. Tillis, 29. Gray, 2. Cunningham, 119. There was 3 undervotes.
No.
Hayes had 3 too.
Are you sure the 3 was not for Kevin Hayes?
He just said that, he just
Yeah.
corrected himself.
Hayes, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I skipped him, by mistake. Okay. House of Representatives. Wallace, 121. Bishop, 29. Undervotes, 6.
Okay,
North Carolina Governor. Pisano, 0. Cooper, 129. DeFore, 3. Dan Forrest, 23. Overvote by 1.
Are you sure? Over or under?
No, it's an undervote, excuse me. It's these damn trifocals, I'm sorry, I keep getting the wrong ones. Okay, Lieutenant Governor. Mark Robinson, 28. Yvonne Lewis Holly, 116. 12 undervotes. Attorney General O'Neill, 25. Stein, 116. 15 undervotes. Auditor Street, 23. Beth Wood, 121. Undervote by 12. Commissioner of Agriculture, Steve Troxler, 37. Wadsworth, 110. Undervote by 9. Mike, this is the Commissioner of Insurance, Mike Causey, 30. Wayne Goodwin, 118. 8 undervotes. Commissioner of Labor, Dobson, 27. Holmes, 121. Overvote by 1, undervote by 7. Secretary of State, Sykes, 27. Elaine Marshall, 120. Undervotes by 9. Superintendent of Public Instruction, Truitt, 31. Magnum, 116. Undervotes by 9. Treasurer, Charjai, am I pronouncing it right? 114. Falwell, 31. Undervotes by 11. Supreme Court Justice, seat 1. Beasley, 110.
Eight,
118?
there you go.
Okay, I thought it was a 10. Paul Newby, 23.
Nope.
Under,
Uh-uh.
that's 28 too?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. See what I think, now you know what my eye doctor says. Undervotes by 10. This is an Associate Justice, seat 2. Berger Jr., 29. Inman, 116. Undervote by 11. Justice seat 4. Barringer, 23. Davis, 117.
Hold up.
Undervotes.
Whoa. Let's get back to Behringer and recheck that number.
Okay, 29.
Thank you.
29. Then 117, then 10 for undervotes. Board of Appeals, seat 4. Shields, 119. Woods, 27. And undervotes, 10. Appeals Head, seat 5. Hovich, 114. 427. Undervotes, 15. Board of Appeals, seat 6. Stiers, 115. Dillon, 28. Undervotes, 13. Seat 7, Board of Appeals. Young, 115. Jeff Carpenter, 26. Overvote 1, undervote 14. Board of Appeals, seat 13, Chris Brook, 118, Griffin, 23, undervotes 15. Helen Probst moves, this is for Senate District 25, North Carolina Senate. Mills, 112, McInnes, 30, undervotes 14. House of Representative, District 52, Simon, 107. Bowles, 35, overvote 1, undervotes 13. District Court Judge, seat 3, Creed, 45, undervotes 111. This is District 190, or 19D, I think, seat 4. Bartholomew, 115, Steve Beebe, 29, and undervotes 12. District Attorney, Hardin, 39, undervotes 117. County Commissioner, DeGar, 116, Louis Gregory, 30, undervotes 10. County Commissioner Quiz, is that how you pronounce his name? I don't know, 42, undervotes 114. Board of Education, District 1, Caldwell, 111. Coleman, 20, undervotes 25. Education District 2, Miller, 100. Levy, 30, undervotes 26. Education District 4, Wells Brown, 93. Hensley, 36. Overvotes 1, undervotes 26. Education District 5, Weaver, 81, Holmes, 43, write-in 1, overvotes 0, undervotes 31. Soil and Water District Supervisor, Utley, 90, Williams, 37, write-in 1, undervotes 28.
Thank you. Craig, who you got? Ben Salem?
Ben Salem. Okay, in Salem, you got Trump 381, Biden 82, Blankenship 2, Hawkins 1, Jorgensen 0, write-in 0, overvotes all 0, undervotes 0. Tom Tillis 361, Shannon Bray 7, Cal Cunningham 87, Kevin Hayes 8, 0 overvotes and 3 undervotes. House of Representatives, Timmons Goodson 87, Hudson 368, over is 0, under is 11. Governor Pisano 1, Cooper 105, DeFore 0, Forrest 360, over is 0 and under is 0. Lieutenant Governor Robinson 374, Holly 83, 0 over and 9 under. Attorney General William O'Neill, 356. Stein is 97, 0 over and 13 under. NC Auditor Street is 358. Wood 96, 0 over, 12 under. North Carolina Commissioner of Ag Troxler, 371. Wadsworth, 86. 0 over, 9 under. Insurance Commissioner, Causey, 357. Goodwin, 97. 0 over, 12 under. Commissioner of Labor, Dobson, 363. Holmes, 89. 0 over, 14 under. Secretary of State, Sykes, 359. Marshall, 93. 0 over and 14 under. Superintendent of Instruction, Truitt, 358. Mangrum, 95. 0 over, 13 under. Treasurer, Chatterjee, 96. Falwell, 358. 0 over, 12 under. Chief Justice, seat 1, Beasley, 99. Newby, 354. 0 over, 13 under. Supreme Court Justice, seat 2, Berger Jr. at 354. Inman, 92. 0 over, 20 under. Justice, seat 4, Behringer, 357. Davis, 93. 0 over, 16 under. Court of Appeals, seat 4, Shields, 91. Wood, 358. 0 over, 17 under. Court of Appeals, seat 5, Cubbage, 90. Gore, 357. 0 over, 19 under. Court of Appeals, seat 6, Stiers, 87. Dillon, 362. 0 over, 17 under. Court of Appeals, seat 7 is Young, 85. Carpenter, 365. 0 over, 16 under. Court of Appeals, seat 13, Brooke, 89. Griffin, 356. 0 over, 21 under. State House, looks like this is Senate, I'm sorry, Senate seat District 25 is will be Probst Mills, 94. McInnes, 360. 0 over, 12 under. District 52, Simon, 93. Bowles, 360. 0 over, 13 under. District Court Judge, 19D, it's going to be Creed, 366, with 0 over and 100 under. District Court seat 4, Bartholomew, 92. Bybee, 357. 0 over, 17 under. District Attorney Harden, 356. 0 over, 110 under. Board of Commissioners, District 11, DeGar, 84. Gregory, 353. 0 over, 29 under. Board of Commissioners, Weiss, 357. 0 over, 109 under. Board of Education, Caldwell, 287. Coleman, 122. No write-ins, 0 over, 57 under. Board of Education, Wallen Miller, 146. Levy, 264. 0 write-ins, 0 over, 56 under. Board of Education, Brown, 147. Hensley, 266. No write-ins, no overvotes, 53 under. Board of Education, Weaver, 167. Holmes, 238. No write-ins, no over, 61 under. Soil and Water, Utley, 100. Williams, 317. No write-ins, no over, 49 under.
All right, Bill, who do you have?
I have this.
All right,
So Here goes. This is for president. Trump, 156, Biden, 35, 1 for Blankenship, 3 for Hawkins, 5 for Jorgensen, 0 for the other candidates. And, or 0 write-ins over and under. US Senate, Tillis, 139, Gray, 16, Cunningham, 30, Hayes, 6,
Hold on. What's Cunningham?
maybe it's a 38,
Okay,
perhaps.
38 sounds good.
Richard and I need to go to the same guy. Okay, and 1 under vote there, 0 over. House of Representatives, District 8, Timmons Goodson, 41, Hudson, 156, 0 over, 3 under. Governor, Pisano, 1, Cooper, 47, DeFior, I think it's an 8, or is it a 0?
8.
I think it's an 8. Forrest, 144, no over or under. Lieutenant Governor, Robinson, 159. Holly, 37, no over, 4 under. AG, O'Neill, 151. Stein, 45, no over, 4 under. Auditor, Street, 145. Wood, 48, I believe, no over, 7 under. Commissioner of Agriculture, Truxler, 155, Wadsworth, 40, no over, 500. Commissioner of Insurance, Causey, 156, Goodwin, 39, no over, 500. Commissioner of Labor, Dobson, 149, Holmes, 45, no over, 600. Secretary of State, Sykes, 144, Marshall, 48, I think.
Yeah.
No over, under. Public instruction,
Wait,
Wait a minute.
well, let's back up to under base.
that's an 8.
It is, thank you.
Public instruction, Truitt, 155, Mangrum, 40, no over, 5 under. Treasurer, Chatterjee, 42, Colwell, 149, 2 over, 7 under. Chief Justice, seat 1, Beasley, 45, Newby, 147, 1 over, 7 under. Justice seat 2 on the court, Berger Jr., 145, Inman, 46, no over, is it 9 under?
Yes.
Seat 4 on the court, Behringer, 147, Davis, 45, no over, 8 under. Court of Appeals Judge, seat 4, Shields, 45, Wood, 147, no over, 8 under. Seat 5 on the appellate court, 46 for Covich, 146 Gore, no over or under. Seat 6, again, it's an 8 under. Wait a minute, 0 and 8 looks so much alike. All right, seat 6, 44 for Stiers, 148, I guess, for Dillon.
Yep.
0 over and 8 under.
Yes.
Seat 7 on the appellate court, 39 for Young, 153 Carpenter, 0 over, 8 under again. Boy, that 8 comes every time, doesn't it? Seat 13, 42 for Brook, 150 for Griffin, no over, 8 under. Now we're on Senate, State Senate, District 25. Probst Mills, 45, McGinnis, 150, no over, 5 under. House of Reps, District 52, Lowell Simon, 45, Bowles, 151, no over, 4 under. This is District Court Judge 190, Skipper Creed, 164, 36 under. No over. This is District Court Judge 190, Bartholomew, 46, Bybee, 147, 1 over, 6 under. District Attorney Hardin, 161, no over, 39 under. Board of Commissioners, District 11. We have Dugar with 42, Gregory, 148, no over, 10 under. Commissioners, District 4, Quiz, 157, no over, 43 under. District 1 for the Board of Education, 134 for Caldwell, 42 for Coleman. No write-in, no over, 24 under. District 11, 65 for Will and Miller, 113 for Levy. No write-ins or over, 22 under. Board of Education, District 4, 60 for Brown, 117 Hensley. No over, 23 under. No, we're in District 5. Weaver gets 76, Holmes 98. No over or write-in, 26 under. Soil and Water, Huntley 69, Hart Williams 101, no write-in or over, 30 under. That's it.
Great, thank you.
I did not sign this thing. This is the baseline. All right.
Susan, what do you got? I have, East Aberdeen.
All right,
What do you have?
East Aberdeen.
Trump, 223. Biden, 116. Blankenship, 0. Hawkins, 1. Jorgensen, 8. Write-in, 1. Overvotes, 1. Nothing for undervotes. Senate, Tillis, 200. Bray, 20. Cunningham, 112. Hayes, 10. No overvotes, 8 undervotes. House of Representatives, Wallace, 110. Bishop, 222. Overvotes, 1. Undervotes, 17. Casano for governor, 7. Cooper, 130. DeFore, 9. Forrest, 198. No overvotes, 6 undervotes. Lieutenant Governor Robinson, 214. Holly, 121. No overvotes, 15 undervotes. Attorney General O'Neill, 209. Stein, 127. No overvotes, 14 undervotes. Auditor, Street, 210. Wood, 125. No overvotes, 15 undervotes. For Commissioner of Agriculture, Troxler, 229. Wadsworth, 107. No overvotes, 14 undervotes. For Insurance, Causey, 215. Goodwin, 119. No overvotes, 16 undervotes. For Commissioner of Labor, Dobson, 208. Holmes, 127. Overvotes, 0. Undervotes, 15. For Secretary of State, Sykes, 209. Marshall, 126. Overvotes, 0. Undervotes, 15. Public Instruction, Truitt, 220. Mangrum, 114. Undervotes, 16. Treasurer, Ronnie Chatterjee, 119. Falwell, 216. No overvotes, 15 undervotes. Chief Justice, Beasley, 119. Newby, 217. No overvotes, 14 undervotes. Justice Seat 2, Berger, 216. Inman, 119. No overvotes, 15 undervotes. For Seat 4, Behringer, 218. Davis, 117. Overvotes, 1. Undervotes, 14. Court of Appeals, Shields, 111. April Wood, 219. No overvotes, 20 undervotes. Judge Seat 5, Kubich, 114. Gore, 218. No overvotes, 18 undervotes. Judge Seat 6, Stiers, 108. Dillon, 222. No overvotes, 20 undervotes. Judge Seat 7, Young, 112. Carpenter, 218. No overvotes, 20 undervotes. Seat 13, Brooke, 119. Jefferson Griffin, 211. Overvotes 1, undervotes 19. Senate Senate D, Probst Mills, 120. Tom McInnes, 211. No overvotes, 19 undervotes. House of Representatives, Simon, 117. Bowles, 215. Undervotes, 18. District Seat 3, Creed, 260. Overvotes none, undervotes 90. Seat 4, Bartholomew, 128. Bobby, 202. No overvotes, 20 undervotes. District Attorney, Hardin, 254. No overvotes, 96 undervotes. Board of Commissioners, District 11, DeGar, 117. Gregory, 212. No overvotes, 21 undervotes. Board of Commissioners, District 4, Frank Quist, 255. No overvotes, 95 undervotes. Board of Education, District 1, Caldwell, 236. Coleman, 65. Write-in 3. No overvotes, 46 undervotes. District 2, Helen Wallen Miller, 161. Levy, 144. Write-ins 2. Overvotes 0. Undervotes 43. District 4, Betty Wells Brown, 159. Hensley,
Hold on. Let's go back to Brown.
149.
Thank you.
Hensley, 155. Write-in 0. Overvotes 0. Undervotes 46. District 5, Weaver, 161. Holmes, 143. Write-in 1. Overvotes 1. Overvotes 0. Write-in 1. Overvotes 0. Undervotes 45. Soil and Water, Utley, 154. Art Williams, 146. Write-ins 2. Overvotes 0. Undervotes 48.
All right. So I haven't done one. Would you like for me to select one? So I have selected Pinehurst B1. And I am blind too. So I think we all need to get Susan's eye doctor first. Great job, Susan. All right. So for president, we have Donald Trump, 223, Joseph Biden, 64, Blankenship, 2, Hawkins, 0, Jurgensen, 3, write-ins, 0, overs, 0, unders, 2. For U.S. Senate, Tom Tillis, 214, Bray, 12, Cunningham, 60, Hayes, 6, overvotes 0, undervotes 2. House of Representatives, District 9, Wallace, 61, Bishop, 224, overvotes 0, undervotes 9. Governor's race, Pisano, 1, Floyd Cooper, 85, DeFore, 3, Dan Forrest, 203, overvotes 0, undervotes 2. Lieutenant Governor's race, Mark Robinson, 219, Holly, 67, overvotes 0, undervotes 8. Jim O'Neill, and this is the North Carolina Attorney General's race, Jim O'Neill, 214, Josh Stein, 71, overvotes 0, undervotes 9. Auditor's race, Street, 210, Beth Wood, 69, overvotes 0, undervotes 15. North Carolina Commissioner of Agriculture, Steve Troxler, 224, Jenna Wadsworth, 55, overvotes 0, undervotes 15. Commissioner of Insurance, Mike Causey, 218, Wayne Goodwin, 59, overvotes 0, undervotes 17. Commissioner of Labor, Dotson, 220, Holmes, 59, overvotes 0, undervotes 15. Secretary of State, Sykes, 206, Elaine Marshall, 76, overvotes 0, undervotes 12. Superintendent of Public Instruction, Catherine Truitt, 209, Jen Mangrum, 66, overvotes 0, undervotes 19. North Carolina Treasurer, Chatterjee, 59, Falwell, 218, overvotes 1, undervotes 16. Supreme Court Chief Justice Seat 1, Terry Beasley, 70, Paul Newby, 214. Overvotes 0, undervotes 10. Supreme Court Associate Justice Seat 2, Phil Berger, 216, Inman, 67, overvotes 0, undervotes 11. Supreme Court Justice Seat 4, Behringer, 220, Davis, 61, overvotes 0, undervotes 13. Court of Appeals Judge Seat 4, Tricia Shields, 57, Wood, 219, overvotes 0, undervotes 18. Court of Appeals Seat 5, Covage, 57, Gore, 218, 0 overvotes, 19 undervotes. Court of Appeals Judge Seat 6, Stiers, 57, Dillon, 217, 0 overvotes, 20 undervotes. Court of Appeals Judge Seat 7, Reuben Young, 60, Carpenter, 216, overvotes 0, undervotes 18. Court of Appeals Judge Seat 13, Chris Brooks, 59, Griffin, 217, overvotes 0, undervotes 18. Senate District 25, Helen Provost Mills, 74, Tom McInnes, 211, 0 overvotes, 9 undervotes. North Carolina Representative District 52, Lowell Simon, 59, Bowles, 222, overvotes 1, undervotes 12. District Court Judge District 19D, Seat 3, Skipper Creed, 236, overvotes 0, undervotes 58. District Court Judge District 19D, Seat 4, Bartholomew, 67, Bobby, 207, overvotes 0, undervotes 20. District Attorney, District 29, Mike Harden, 225, overvotes 0, undervotes 69. Board of Commissioners, District 2, DeGar, 58, Lewis, I'm sorry, 55, Lewis Gregory, 211, overvotes 0, undervotes 28. Scared now. Frank Quist for Board of Commissioners, 235, overvotes 0, undervotes 58. Okay, that could be a 9.
It is a 9.
All right, I'm gonna focus now. My eyes. So County Board of Education, District 1, Caldwell, 203, Coleman, 41, write-ins 0, overvotes 1, undervotes 49. County Board of Education, District 2, Miller, 105, Levy, 158, write-ins 0, overvotes 0, undervotes 31. County Board of Education, District 4, Brown, 94, Hensley, 166, write-ins 0, overvotes 0, undervotes 34. County Board of Education, District 5, Weaver, 96, Holmes, 150, write-ins 0, overvotes 1, undervotes 47. Soil and Water, Utley, 75, Williams, 159, write-in 2, overvotes 0, and undervotes 58.
Woo-hoo. Good job.
Now the real test is getting these folded packets.
Angela's there.
Don't let Angela see ya.
Mr. Ashton has them over there.
Okay.
Okay, so if everybody can make sure that you put your numbers back in your little folder.
Angela does this so easily, and I've just never gotten the knack of it.
It's a puzzle. All right, good job. Your number's on that.
And Madam Chair, I think we can declare the 2020 election canvass from Moore County Board of Elections.
All right, well, then we can conclude the 2020 Moore County canvas. And is there anything further for the board to discuss?
No, no, no.
Wow.
We're gonna cut the live stream now.
Okay, well, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
And Madam Chair, I do believe we have a couple of birthday cards to present to you.